Hi friends, welcome back to a handmade journal. I'm Heather and this is part of my 90-day handmade wardrobe project. If you're new here, I'm challenging myself to create a handmade wardrobe in 90 days. So lots of sewing, experimenting, and probably a few or maybe a lot of mistakes along the way. Today's project is the Lawrence dress by Helen's Closet. I had a ready-to-wear dress in my closet that I loved wearing, and when I found this pattern, I thought this is almost the exact shape. And since this project is all about building my dream wardrobe, it seemed like the perfect match. And as always, the links to the pattern and my favorite tools are in the description, so check there if you want to sew along with me. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to follow my whole 90-day handmade wardrobe adventure. The Lawrence pattern is super versatile. You can make it as a top, a knee-length dress, or a maxi dress. There are sleeveless options, or you can add this really cute ruffle sleeve. And one of the best parts is that it's beginner friendly. So no zippers, no buttons, no elastic casing. And you just put it on and go, so super easy. If you're a newer sewist, it's a great way to build confidence without a lot of fuss. A few months ago, I made what I hoped would be a wearable muslin of the top version in a cotton lawn fabric. It sewed up nicely, but the V-neck was just a little too low for me, so I haven't really been wearing it. So this time I adjusted the pattern by raising it 1.5 inches, just the little V part in the center there. It's a tiny change, but I think it makes such a difference in how comfortable I feel wearing it. If you've ever adjusted a neckline, you know it's just one of those small tweaks that makes the garment feel more like you. My first plan was to make a lightweight denim version out of some leftover chambray from my Persephone shorts, and I have a video of those shorts if you're interested. I was sure it would be enough fabric. Spoiler, it was not. I got halfway through cutting and realized I didn't have enough fabric for the skirt. I considered mixing in another fabric for a patchwork effect, but I didn't have anything in my stash that really matched the weight properly. And I figured if the skirt is too light or too heavy compared to the bodice, I just didn't think it would hang right. So that version right now is on pause until I order more fabric. So to not be deterred, I dug deeper into the stash and found this white and blue striped denim. It has a little stretch, and I thought it would be perfect and perfectly cute. Now, the recommended fabrics for the Lawrence are lightweight wovens with no stretch. Things like linen, cotton lawn, poplin, voile, rayon challis, or Tencel twill. Structured cotton lawns will give you more volume, it said, while draper fabrics like a rayon challis will have a little bit more of a flowy effect. The instructions don't mention heavy fabrics at all, so really choosing denim was my mistake, and I didn't think about going back to check on that. And spoiler alert again, fabric weight really plays a huge role in how this turns out. I also used the chambray facing I had already cut, just so I wouldn't be cutting into more of the striped fabric in case I wanted to add more to the dress, like do the maxi version. So neck facings and I have a little bit of a history. I used to really struggle with them, but the instructions for this pattern are excellent in my opinion. My biggest tip for sewing this neckline would be to mark your stitching line. I also tried a hack, adding striped elastic at the waist to give it some shape. But with this heavier fabric, it did not work at all. It kind of pulled weirdly, didn't sit right, and looked bulky. So I took it out, and obviously not every experiment works. I guess that's why they're called experiments, but to me that's kind of part of the fun. That's also why I'm documenting this 90-day project, because not every make is perfect, but I figure I will learn something every time. And hey, if you're enjoying watching me learn in public, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next experiment. I decided to make this version extra fun by adding oversized white rickrack. I had bought some on Amazon last year when it was trending everywhere, and I've been challenging myself throughout this 90-day project challenge to actually use some of the trims that I've purchased in the past. I ended up stitching the rickrack along the ruffle sleeves and skirt tiers, although I didn't really have a good plan of how to do that as I was going along. I was kind of just winging it. I finished the top part, I think. You're supposed to, according to the instructions, do stitch along the outside about where the line I drew is, just like a top stitching to keep the facing down. When I put it on, it does flop out, but it doesn't seem to be flopping out as I wear it. So I may go back and do that. I did not do a very good job of drawing the line, and I've had issues in the past. If I don't draw the line, then the top stitching looks all crazy. So if I do it, I will redraw that, I think. I could even redraw it so it's a little closer, but I think it's fine at the moment. I also did not do a good job with these. It was an afterthought to put this little rickrack or ginormous rickrack on the sleeve, so I didn't include it in that like bottom seam. I should have done it all together when I was stitching the ruffle together at the bottom. It's starting to fray. It's probably gonna be an issue, so I may have to go back and fix that, but right now it's fine. And we'll see also how much wear I get out of this. So far I really like it. It's really cute. I've also attached with clips the tiers. So the first tier is 2 pieces gathered, so it's not gathered right now, but I just wanted to see the length. And then the second tier, it's the same height, it's just 3 pieces, so it'd be more gathered. The length is okay, it's a little above my knee. I've been trying to actually do skirts and dresses that are kind of about that length, and I may do rickrack at the bottom. It would extend it a little bit, so just like do a tiny little hem with the rickrack on top. And then I'm interested in doing the rickrack along here as well on each where the tiers connect together, but I need to make sure I do that right so that it's enclosed, the edges are enclosed in the seam and finished off. But anyway, I think it's looking really cute. I was debating on whether I wanted to add the 3rd tier for the maxi, but I think given kind of the lightness of it, I think it's going to be cute as a shorter dress. So anyway, I am going to continue on. I did kind of regret, so I did the stripes opposite from the top, but I regret on the bottom not having done that again, but I think it's okay. There's a distinction. Top stripes vertical, tiers on the skirt part, the stripes are horizontal. So anyway, I'm going to continue on. It's been about a day and a half of making so far. Yesterday I only sewed just a little bit for less than half an hour, And prior to that, it was all about cutting and sewing. So it's actually a pretty quick make. I've just been kind of being a little fussy about it and, trying, this rickrack and different ribbons and things. So anyway, I will carry on. Nice chatting. After attaching the first skirt tier, I tried it on as a top over leggings, and you know what? It was actually really cute. But the denim is so stiff that it holds itself away from my body, almost like a little tent. I usually prefer a more cinched-in waist, which this pattern doesn't have by default, so it looked more oversized than I expected. I even pinned it to see if I should take it in, but then I laid my ready-to-wear inspiration dress over this one, and the size was almost identical. At that point, I realized it wasn't the pattern, it was the fabric choice that made it look and feel different. It was a good reminder that fabric can make or break a project. And here it is, the finished striped Lauren's dress. It's definitely way more dramatic and oversized than my usual style. The heavy denim really makes it hold its shape, so it feels a little extra compared to my softer, ready-to-wear version. I went ahead and washed it in hot water and dried it, hoping it would shrink or relax a little. It didn't really shrink up at all, but I'm showing you here how it looks after being washed and dried, just so you can see the difference, if you even notice anything. I also had some fun styling it to see how I might wear it out. I tried a few different belts. Most of mine are more on the skinny side, but I also tested a wide black belt. That one actually worked really well for the width, even though it's covered in sequins, which isn't exactly the look I was going for. And I just put it on the back side just to show like the look of it on the front without the sequins. Still, it gave me a good idea of how a wider belt could balance out all that fabric. Add a purse or the right shoes and it feels a little more put together. So that's my Lauren's dress adventure. Even though it didn't shrink or change much in the wash, styling it up gave me a few ideas on how I might wear it out. Have you made the Lauren's before? Let me know in the comments what fabric you used and how it turned out. I'd love to hear all about it. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed sewing along with me. Subscribe to a handmade journal for more from my 90-day handmade wardrobe project. And check the description for links to the pattern and all the tools I used. I really appreciate you hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one.